lesson today on how to measure your model. And I have a beautiful model here. What's your name?
Isabella.
Isabella. This is my daughter, Isabella. She is going to be 3 years old here in about 3 weeks. She's a big girl. Okay, so to measure properly, most people don't do this correctly. You would think it would be easy, and it is easy, but if you've never done it before, you may not know how to do it. You want to get one of these nifty measuring tools. You can get them at your local fabric store. They're really inexpensive, and they last forever, so unless you lose them. My daughter likes to play with them a lot. All right, so the first measurement you want to take is a chest measurement. So lift up your arms. Oh, good job. So you want to measure around the chest. And it doesn't have to be super tight, but you want it to be parallel with the floor. And it can be in inches or centimeters, whatever you're used to. Stand up, baby. It's hard to do sometimes with a little wiggly one, because toddlers, of course, don't like to stay still. But she is 19 inches around at 3, so she's a tiny little thing. The next measurement is going to be a waist measurement. Now, a lot of people measure this one wrong. You know, chest is pretty easy, it's under the arms. But a waist measurement, a lot of people think, well, the waist is where my clothes sit, which is not exactly true. Stand up, sweetheart. So if you see where her pants are, this is really low. It's below her belly button, which is where most people think the waist measurement sits. And a waist measurement can be hard on little ones because a lot of times they have a little bit of a baby belly. Especially if they're toddlers. So what I suggest for people is to try to find the waist from the back, which seems kind of strange, but come here, stand up, stand up. If you look at her back, you will see, turn around, and you find it somewhat naturally, how it kind of dips in here, even though she's got a little bit of a toddler belly. That is where the waist measurement is. So you would take that the same way as the chest, holding it just somewhat taut and level with the floor, and it should be right there at that waist. Turn around. And then you just measure it, get you a good measurement, record your measurements, and then you can use that for your pattern to figure out what size to use. Hip is the same, except for hip is the biggest part of the body, the lower half of the body. Also, a good thing to note is if your child normally wears a diaper, like this one, normally wears a diaper, or maybe they're potty training and they're kind of transitioning in between diapers or panties, the important thing to note is that you want to measure them in whatever they normally wear. So like this one, for example, little bitty, is a long way from potty training, so she is definitely still in diapers, so it wouldn't make sense to measure her without a diaper on, because that's normally what she wears. It would be the same thing if you're measuring with women's clothing. You want to measure yourself or measure your model in whatever undergarments they plan on wearing. That's how to measure. It's very, very easy as long as you're measuring at the right place, and getting good measurements will make sure that you get an awesome fit. Be sure to check back. I plan on doing a lot more of these videos. You'll get to see my wonderful distracting children in the background, which will be awesome. I'm sure a lot of you don't possibly have distracting children at home. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to have a lot of awesome tutorials in the future. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.
See you next time!
See you next time.
Thanks so much!
Thanks so much.
Say subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come here.
Wait.
Come here. Say subscribe to our YouTube channel.
This is the new channel. Press that button.
Press that button. All right. See you later.